Principles of learning. These managers represent learners within the company. Some of these learners enjoy using computers, some enjoy group interaction, some of them benefit from the use of graphic organizers, some enjoy hands-on activities, and others remember verbal instruction better than written. But one thing they all have in common is that they're good at their jobs, but their motivations vary based on learning differences and expected outcomes in learning. There are several aspects that need to be considered when training adult learners, like what's their personal learning style, what experience do they bring to the table, how are they motivated, what are their personal circumstances, and what is their learning orientation. Adult learners want choices in their learning options. They need immediate feedback to ensure that they're not wasting their time with training but are actually making progress. And adults want learning to be based on something that's realistic and practical. Their learning environment should be a safe and comfortable space so that they feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and opinions. Most learners have multiple intelligences, but the three dominant ones seem to be visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, which basically means that we learn by what we see, what we say, what we hear, and what we can ultimately get done. These various learning styles come into play in very different ways. Learners should feel that the learning environment is a place where everyone's ideas and opinions are respected and collaboration is encouraged. It may be helpful for learners to keep a personal reflection log to use for future modifications in their behaviors that can affect their job performance or enhance things within their departments. Adult learners do not want to be lectured to. We learn in so many different ways. We learn by what we read, what we hear, what we see. We learn by watching videos, having discussion groups, doing team building exercises. Some of us learn through on-the-job training exercises. We have to actually get our hands dirty. After 2 weeks, most of us tend to forget most of what we've read, what we've seen, what we've heard, but when these things are done in combination, they tend to stick and learning actually takes place. Our brain is constantly at work, coming up with new and innovative ways to get things done. Teamwork is essential for the success of any organization. Leadership is imperative because leaders and managers help motivate and inspire their teams to embrace the vision of the company and come up with new innovations for the future. Just because adults are adults, it doesn't mean that play should be discouraged. It should actually be encouraged. Participating in play encourages learners to be responsible for their learning in order to become successful. It forces the learner to determine an expected outcome of learning because the ultimate goal of any training is to promote creativity and increase productivity. In order to facilitate behavioral changes in workers while meeting the organization's goals and objectives, it's important to acquire assessments prior to participants taking part in training. Communication is an essential part of meeting these learning goals. The initial training should be completed within 4 to 6 weeks with learners controlling when they engage in the activities and also how they do it. Some of this learning should take place online. A suggested timetable to meet this goal is to plan for weekly 1-hour training sessions that the learners do online, followed by a group session that occurs once a month to encourage team building and to elicit feedback. The information from this module should remain on the company server for learners to review periodically, and the information can then be updated with new ideas that emerge from learner suggestions and group brainstorming sessions. Graphs and graphic organizers are encouraged, but let's not just do them in black and white. Let's inject some color so it's not boring. I'd like to take this time to thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day.